Okay, Fambulem, una kabo, una good evening, good morning, good afternoon. And I bring una massive greetings from the TNN TV podcast. Obviously, my name is Prince Emil Koma. Today, now the eve of Christmas, very significant evening, very significant day. And the time now beside is 10:16. So we get the show scheduled for 10:10, I believe. Okay. And very important show and well-intentioned and title, which is why Sierra Leoneans should be optimistic, because obviously those of us in the media circle, we talk a lot, we criticize a lot. Some of us can provide solutions as well, not just the criticism. Some of us don't know how to run things, but we know how to criticize. So all we do is criticize. Some of us know both, so we criticize and offer or provide solutions to what we criticize. While some people and our solutions and then they offer on the basis of hope. So on the channel TNN on this 24th day of December 2025, which is the eve of Christmas 2025, we been want offer a program of optimism. In other words, why Sierra Leoneans them need for get habop. Fambulem, habop na something we no they go off. Na something when they extinguish. Once people and don't harbor that, they don't keep that. Because for live on hope, a better path for not live on hope at all. But anyway, before they go into this, because now short program now, I must apologize. The program is scheduled for run on that theme on why Sierra Leoneans them for still have optimism going into 2026 and how hope na team when they extinguish, not a team where they go off, not a team where you can just take away easily. It has to be a concerted effort for broke people and down on the basis of hope. Because why? For let you survive, you get for despite in the difficulty of times, you get forget hope. So anyway, this now be a show we schedule for go on, and I've been supposed to appear as a guest. Unfortunately, the host is nowhere around at this time. So instead of canceling, because I don't cancel a lot of shows on the basis of people and we make commitment for host shows, despite this commitment to we people and despite the advocacy we with the adumbrate or try for get out to we people yet still we dey criticize others, but we need to live up to that commitment day. So for run an organization, it's a very difficult thing, much more for run an entire country. So it's easy for sit down on the sideline and criticize. We understand that, and then you're not able to come up with the receipts for sure about the criticism. So obviously, it's a short one, and this now for just warm una up for tell una about programs then we get for come na the platform and not far away. So one thing what we get for talk about, I will come back again to the issue of optimism and why hope not they extinguish, is Sam Sumana has just become victorious in a fight, for become relevant, essential, and central to with political aspiration in terms of the opposition party. And una go no say some people let me they try for sideline ever since he expressed his intent for return to the party. So obviously he went through the courts that could not, rule against what happened in June of 2023 and elections, which up to this day go live in infamy. Okay. But the court deliberates say Sam Sumana get a right within the political party where he belonged to, and he can become a flag bearer, a contestant, an aspiring candidate for the All People's Congress. So the court don't rule on that. The most important thing is Alfred Conte, Peter Conte, una all know this name by now, because for the last 5 years, Alfred Peter Conte has become an item within the All People's Congress. And he been get an injunction with them be slap on him by the political judge or justice, Adrian Fisher, an injunction we sort of bar Peter Conte until that injunction is lifted. And we know say Peter Conte is associated, affiliated with the former VP, Sam Sumana. Now that Sam Sumana, the court don't give him a go-ahead for let he continue with his aspiration to becoming the APC flag bearer, and if the injunction where they on Alfred Peter Conte as a potential leader for the All People's Congress is lifted from Buleona Yerimi, then obviously it's going to be Alfred Peter Conte that will take APC to convention. And imagine this, if Alfred Peter Conte is an associate, an affiliate, and probably there are other keywords for use in this context of the former VP, Sam Sumana, which is no secret, and I need to take the party to convention. Imagine waiting there for happen. It potentially look like Sam Sumana, the former VP, will be the guy. But I just sort of give a taster for what is to come on this basis, on the Sam Sumana issue. Very interesting times we are living in. And the political party in power is helping to facilitate this process, much to the dislike, of course, and the disadvantage of the All People's Congress, which could be because if it's to the disadvantage of the other side, the only reason why you would help for facilitate this process is because it will become an advantage to your side. But again, just back to what we'll be for supposed for talk about today with me and the host of this program, now the reasons why Sierra Leoneans never remain optimistic going into 2026, because now the year 9 the round up, so we basically get left about 6 days. 6 days left. I mean, one make on 7, but today the 24th, and we get 31 days in this month. And if you're not the 24th, it means like 7 days left, but this day is gone already. We technically day into Christmas, and as soon as the midnight bell, chime, that will be Christmas that we into. Okay, are we going to go into Christmas and Sierra Leoneans? This is not the fundamental question. Are we going to go into Christmas with the past with us or behind us? Are we going into waiting we go through all of 2025 into 2026? But we have been a heavy critique of government. We have stood alongside with fellow citizens them for provide succor, for provide solidarity, for provide emotional help. Yeah. In some cases, financial help in we own little way that we can do at the end of this year to Sierra Leoneans them who were in need of most. But most of all, we strength are derived from the emotional connection where we try for do and try for provide a sort of contextual argument as to what been happen then, what happen now, and what will go before. So other than the usual heavy critique of government, we try for provide a bit of optimism, some level of optimism. In other words, hope, nothing when they extinguish. So if we get optimism going into 2026, now because there's a degree of hope that things go change, that things go turn around, that there will be some kind of economic relaxation, economic help, social justice. So in other words, we're not going into the new year with the same. And we hope we government will help for facilitate this process and do a turnaround. It does not have to be like a 90-degree or 360 degrees, but we just need to accept that 2026 was not all well and good for we people. We know say presidential address get for come because it's traditional. And it's interesting as to what we get for Yeri inside this traditional address. It's very interesting because let's put the presidency aside for one moment. And I'm not excusing them or the presidency, but I want for them to put them, on the sideline for a moment. The surrounding within the presidency has had a problem over a significant period of time as to the existence of this government, where you appear like say, they really not even care about the populace any longer because they can tell the populace just about anything. Or would they create 50,000 jobs without it being physically seen or felt on the ground? But they can feel free for say that. And in my opinion, People that way they say that now people that will not justify, we can't justify the position or the reasons as to why they're saying it, but they do say it anyway. But there has to be a turnaround from this kind of thing. Government need for respect its people. Now in people and they borrow them the mandate for let them rule in them behalf. And it's not an easy task for do for run government. We understand this. But for let the people and share the government and difficulties, the government has to be forthcoming. They have to be accountable. They have to be responsible. And they have to be transparent to the very people we elect them. Because once you're transparent and accountable, and this transparency and accountability mean you they keep the populace or the electorate informed as to why X is X, Y is Y. So the people then they go alongside with you for understand when there are difficulties, they know why there are difficulties. When things they boom, they understand. Or when you're about to launch a policy which might be to the advantage of the people, they are equally aware. This has not been the case for a significant period of time. There is no trust in our government. And this is a fact, it's a matter of fact. The population is hugely divided. There is identity politics widely practiced in our country. It does not have to be this way. Unfortunately, that's why it is. But government has the opportunity going into the new year for turn this around. And we look forward to government for turn them around. Like I say, we try for end this year on a note of optimism. I go also like for inform Fambulem that we get a powerful show coming up, which is something we've been doing for the last several years, in which we call the year in retrospect. So we look back at the year, the highlights, what was, what is, who, where, when, who said what, when did they say what, or what happened where and when, and where. So that is coming, where we go look at newspaper clippings, broadcast and print media, waiting and say throughout the year from from January to December. Then they come and we get a heavy cast. We get I can give you a taste because I think we'll put the flyer up now one platform. We get Gismet Fodemami Suma. He would be on the program, and all the people that we call and we will put them on the flyer. We inform them, we'll not just go up and put people a name and picture on a flyer. Of course, that would be wrong. So we equally expect that they will be on the platform on the day for due waiting the people expect them for due, except in some extreme circumstances when they can't, because these things are possible, but they will be. So we get Gismet Fodemami Suma, we get Bishop Fitzgerald Johnson, we get Dr. Fatima Babi, we get Sister Kadi Karl Marx, we get Charles Harleston, we get Imran T, most people will know him for. We get Dr. John Idris Lahai, we get Ambassador John Lee, and a few others. But this panel comprises of people from different backgrounds, professional backgrounds of life. So we get lawyer, I can say this for sure. We get lawyer, we get social scientist, we get political scientist, we get journalists, we get man of the cloth, religious people in the form of a bishop, still a look for an imam. We want to create a balance. So it's not only from the Christian side. And we get social justice people and political justice people, all of them, then kind of scientists and they on the show. So people from professional background, diplomat, seasoned diplomat, such as Ambassador John Lee, former Sierra Leone ambassador to the United Nations, a seasoned diplomat. When they talk about a career diplomat, not a political diplomat, people when they just appoint on political basis will not go through the system of diplomacy, where you're employed by the government and for become a career diplomat, you start with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, you sit on a bench, you are understudying, where assignment come, now the region, now they begin from Liberia, Guinea, Gambia, the little countries. These are used, for let you go understudy and learn few things and then you come back, you sit on a bench, and as your career they progress and you become mature in the business of diplomacy, you begin get diplomatic assignments, specifically in huge African countries, be it South Africa, Kenya, and Zambia and Zimbabwe. At the time, we can make the argument now, but these are senior African countries with huge economy, huge population, with bilateral connections to the government. So we need people and we understand for Didi. And then before you begin cross over the Atlantic and begin coming to Europe, the Court of St. James, the royalty in Belgium, and other European countries, then, because there are very many, in the dozens, in the dozens. And then going to North America, South America, going to Asia, East Asia, Southeast Asia, South Asia, and so much more. But you need people anyway for understand this. Unfortunately, a political reward we can reward people because of the subservient to the administration of the time. So they are rewarded with no experience, which comes as a detriment to the population. Well, again, it's just a water mouth thing with the Guna, or mouth watering situation with the Guna, because that program that they come is titled, some of them go don't see them because we post on one of we channel them, 2026. 2025, the year in retrospect, looking at what thing happened, who, where, what, when, from January to the December where we did so. And this will take place on the 28th with this star-studded panel of experienced people from different backgrounds, professional background, not just backgrounds, but professional backgrounds. We got lawyer, we got journalist, we get diplomat, we get social scientist, we get all kind of career people will be here, including men of the cloth, the clergy. They will be here. Only missing one, and we still look for. So if you know somebody and you want to recommend them to us for bring them come on the program, so we can have a full house that will be from the Muslim faith, please don't hesitate for recommend them. Going back to what I've been saying, we get responsibility not just for criticize government, but for also provide solution. Yes, we understand the power vested in us, the people, so much so that the Constitution provides these guarantees and recognize this, that the one that we want aspire for can lead with and therefore can to we for seek we consent where we borrow them over a period of time. That consent that we can ask for them back, but there's a process because all of us cannot speak at the same time. So the process demands that we elect an electorate where they go speak for we. In fact, the electorate now but we they elect people and where they go speak on we behalf. We're far lesser than us, but represent constituencies and domains and hamlets and townships and what have you. It's all articulated in the policy bureau as to how it for run, the system for run. So we really need for understand this. If it not a work for us, the difficulty is we have to wait for a period of time again that when they can ask us, we can vote them out. Unfortunately, it's a duopoly that we have. It's either green or red or green. That's what it is. No one party has emerged. It could be an individual because this is how revolution is sparked. Yeah, that you have a charismatic person will emerge and decide for lead because the Sierra Leonean people are thirsty. They are hungry for leadership. It's not like they're not fed up with the two parties. Them, the people that they advocate for both parties, they are in single digits. It will sound like a bit of an exaggeration because if you get 8 million plus people, of course, it might be in 3 digits, 100,000, yeah, but not very many, because the very many are those that are having a hard time, okay? But these few where they advocate for the regime and potentially the opposition, they are in the minority, but they are loud enough. And because we people are not fatigued, the people that they suffer, then continue for stay in a position in which they become compromised because they not get that wherewithal, they not get that mobilization day or possibly they can mobilize them because all the people in either the APC or then the SLPP, either SLPP or APC. And then the crumbs where they fall down off the table from these corrupt enterprises, they go to another handful of few people. So we get a kind of class problem now in country, hierarchical, like if you read typical classical Karl Marx, it's a kind of class problem in which you have the hierarchy, the political establishment or political elite, some like for refer to them, and then below them you get the other level of people them where they suck up to them, because whatever they fall off this top hierarchy, they can be the next level of people. And then business now for also protect the regime who that ever did in power. And they're not supposed to be that, because few government employees them who are being paid by taxpayer their money, the people their money, have come out of sheer ignorance, because you can see upon them. That's what they understand. And not missing and not get other people the way they understand. Oh, they do. But then come out and can say, the people, they tell the people and say, then they serve the government of the day. These are, let's say, security apparatus or officials, the police, for example. They come out and can say the army, they can say that the government of the day then they serve. You see how the thing don't become brazen and compromise? You see, also we can come out now, make we not can hesitate, because we know say we did on the side of righteousness and truth, and we're able to produce the receipts, the evidence to that effect. And this is what we've been saying for the better part of 7, 8, if not 9 years. No, you are not there to serve the government of the day. No, 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 no. You might technically want to make an argument, say, well, the government of the day, which I disagree with, but let we say yes, and it depends on what in the government of the day they use you for. Now, for police the nation in a righteous way, as the Constitution call for protect or provide law and order, or now for act as a bulwark for the government, protect the government from feeling the wrath of the people, while the people get a right for exercise their right. So you the provider fence between the people and the government instead of on the people inside. So no, the Constitution provides clearly that your allegiance belongs to the nation. It belongs to the Constitution, where explain everything where you supposed for do or for the do, not to individual. Not even the president. It doesn't say that at all. We need for come out plain and clear and tell the one the way they think that way, and one or two senior policemen they don't come out and they say that we serve the government of the day in that kind of nonchalant manner. I don't care manner, because the government of the day protects them. So then feel free for say that, but that in itself is not true. Your allegiance lies to the Constitution of the country. And then once you understand the Constitution, you understand all the wherewithal, all within there within, and how it's supposed to work. So the Constitution is where you pledge your allegiance. Even when you take your oath of office, including the president, when he takes his oath of office, now for defend the Constitution, because the defense of the Constitution assures the nation that the president is providing the rights of the people embedded inside the Constitution and everything else where the Constitution say. That's the oath of office that they take. And the same is true of the other forces them, whether not the police force, whether not immigration, whether not the police. That's what they do. They swear an oath of allegiance to the country, the Constitution that provides the guidance for the country, not the other way around. So you see how corrupt the situation is, identity politics, and I'm not forgiving those that do that because they want to provide a job, assuming that they know, but then think say, well, the president now they protect, the president or the government now get allegiance to. No, you don't owe them an allegiance. You owe the country an allegiance. You owe the Constitution, which provides the rights of the people as to how they can be governed, waiting then get inside it, how it should be respected. That's what you owe an allegiance to. Check your allegiance. That goes true for all the one that we take oath. whether or not the parliamentarians and the most powerful institution of the country, which is the executive, the presidency, he takes an oath to defend the Constitution. If you take an oath for defend the Constitution, then obviously it's what the Constitution says in every right. That's the oath that you've taken to defend. And the people are heavily factored inside that Constitution there. So the rights of the people will have to be protected. That not means that there are no miscreants in the society who the law is supposed to be thrown at, okay? But let's not get it twisted and confused that the vast majority of the people mean good. And the Constitution provides, even when you fall foul of the law, there are provisions within the Constitution that your rights must be guaranteed. In other words, if you fall foul of the law, you allegedly commit a crime, until a competent law or army court of jurisdiction can indict you. Indict, in other words, then look into your situation. We allegedly at a point that you committed, it is alleged, and every evidence is brought forward and goes through the system, and then you are prosecuted, and then the law also make provision as to how you are supposed to be punished. But other than that, not to Alice in Wonderland, in which you are guilty now, that means before trial, and then trial later. So in other words, it's the reverse. Waiting the Constitution promise we, and waiting is say now we country. It's every man, implying plural, everybody, Sierra Leonean, are innocent until proven guilty. Okay? Until you are proven guilty, you are innocent. But on the other way around, we can see a lot of people in Apademba Road and others, they are innocent. The last time when the massacre happened, a lot of innocent people then die. People that went and just catch in a road, maybe then they sell granates, and probably some minor violation. But that violation has to be proven in a court of law, mind you, because until then, it is alleged. And we own all man up Apademba Road. Motorbike man, he make mistake or he left in license, also a Nogida policeman, the Lily thing, they end up in Apademba Road. Despite not facing a court of his peers, despite not being convicted, not being indicted. But he end up in Apademba Road. So when that massacre happened, a lot of people then died. And we know that because the records are there as to people that were then send it. So you see why we need an accountability process. You see the unfairness of the system. And this is what we're trying to highlight. So we sit down, we criticize and hold government to account. Now for let government just know, say, we the citizens are watching, and those of us that got ideas and platforms for communicating things they are to with people, we're not doing it in bad faith, because we know say government itself is watching. But government, some annals of government, some people in government can want for dismiss we. Just like similar thing with you, the talk now is like, what have I said wrong here? Because I stand to be corrected, by the way. What have I really said wrong here? Yeah? Other than just trying to ask government, live up to your responsibility. Live up to your oath of office, what you swore to do, how you swore to uphold, okay, the constitution of the country. How do you uphold it? Now the oath than the way you take. I swear for uphold the constitution of the country. And that constitution means the right of the people imbued in that constitution will be respected. If somebody fell foul of the law, you not mean say you become a trash in the society, especially when you're not being proven to be guilty. It stands as an accusation. It's really unfortunate that it's the other way around. Like I say, much more like Alice in Wonderland. The trial they come later, but will they jail you now? Then later on, why should it be in the reverse? But like I say again, on a basis of reconciliation and optimism, in the true spirit of optimism, like I want to see the show is titled, we ask the question, the reason why Sierra Leoneans them need for be optimistic, the reason why they need for have hope. And when I can look up this word we done this program, or some of una way can multitask whilst we do the program. Just look at the meaning of optimism and look at the meaning of hope, especially within the context that I am talking about. It's absolutely critical as Sierra Leoneans them should live up with hope. It's absolutely essential and critical, significant that there should be a spirit of optimism. Because when you lose then two elements there, let's be honest, there are many others, by the way, but then two essential elements there are ingredients. It's a recipe for death. Death in the sense that you give up. When you're optimistic, you get hope. But when you're not optimistic, you lose hope. And then everything just they climb down now, being degraded. Even your psychology, the will to live is diminished or diminishing. And then your immune system, where we normally, and this is linked, by the way, I'm not making this up. Your immune system, which is linked with your own system for resist, just like how if you get a disease and that disease, they don't become embedded inside your body, you don't take too many medicine for them all the time, and the disease itself get used to them, or the body immune system get used to them, it doesn't work anymore. The same is true in this political context we are to talk about. But if it's the other way around, it does work. So I'm optimistic that things will change. I get hope, because hope nothing when they ought. It's a kind of light, if I can describe them as such, where they burn inside with the urge for live, that down the line things may just change for the better, for the good. And this is highly likely. It is in fact, I can declare a possibility, because nothing lasts forever. The only constant is change. I've said this in multiple broadcasts over the years, because I so believe in this, because this is an altruism. Yeah, this is what it is. So Fambulem, as 2026 they come, we know say a lot of things has happened. We can't continue for carry this baggage, because all the baggage go do, because they accumulate. And I call them baggage deliberately, because as they accumulate, it weighs us down. The lighter the baggage is, the more faster we are able to move and navigate and circumnavigate for look for meaningful solution, for survival, for be creative, for advice, for provide. But the more we take on more baggage, the more heavy it becomes. And when it becomes heavy or heavier, then it's difficult for us to move on, because it's slowing us down. It does not have to be a physical baggage that you can see, that you can carry. It can be internally. Your head is just full up with these negatives. Your body system is just full up with these negatives. Same thing as how the physical go operate. That it draws you down because it's becoming heavier for pull. Just like a cart and a horse. The lighter the cart is, the more the horse is able to pull and the faster it is able to go. The more loaded the cart is, it slows down the horse. In other words, the speed diminishes. It dies down. It will still go, but not to that speed the way they go. So if I can put them in another way, when it comes to car manufacture or engine manufacturing, I think that would be the right word, because it can be an airplane and what have you. You're able horsepower, the speed at which it can go. And then therefore balance down there, because there is plenty of chemistry, there's plenty of physics, you cannot involve. Balance the speed as opposed to the weight for able for pull and defy this law and that law. The same is true of we mortal man them. Same is true. Just that the other one is more physical. Like say, if you drive car, you get for press the pedal. Some get twin turbine engine or aeroplane, Concorde, or other high value motor car them, where the engine get twin or turbo, yeah, more horsepower, more throttle, bigger cylinder. If you know what I mean, not to me here and this, so I don't want to go deep before I miss them, but that's the kind of analogy that they try for present owner, and this is the way it works. So Fambulem, we get days into 2026. A lot of people survived 2026. A lot of people, passed away. A lot of friends that will be going into 2026. And in fact, not every one of us go see 2026, even though there's just days left, about 6 days left. These are just the inevitabilities of life, the realities of life. Not every one of us. And when I say not every one of us, that could include me. And if something was to happen to me before then, imagine I'm on film, I'm live, and I'm saying it. It's like a prophecy. Oh, the guy see him. Yeah, it was a calling, and etc. No, it's not a calling per se for me because I don't see him, but I just know say in reality, this can happen. These things are real, can happen. I make a call an inevitability. You can't deny it. For those of us that are religious, who believe that God that maketh is he that taketh. For them one they will not believe or just look at the raw signs, it's because there's something in you, maybe blood pressure, for example, because that's an instant killer. It's been building up. But no one end on a pessimistic, if you like, or the usual note. Because we've held government to account and very proud of this particular position where we take for the last many years. We've criticized all sides. I know we get people away, APC, this, that, because the maxim which is true is as long as you criticize one side, it's because you belong to the other side. Vice versa, the same logic is what the same people who are making these accusations, and these previous arguments, are, borrowed deep down in. Not necessarily, but yes, you could. It's not like it's impossible. But all I've been asking for is, when Allah will look at the truth, what does the truth says? Do we have more hard time today than yesterday? I mean, if you are being truthful, you will have to agree. Do we have more looting today, more stealing of state assets, more corruption today than what yesterday? Same is true. So we criticized yesterday, and this platform criticized yesterday, call names that we know. We're not just to make ordinary accusation, because you can be sued for that. And then and now it's a responsible organization, a registered organization as a company here in the UK. Actions can be taken against us. That's why we are careful. We're not go cost money, because first of all, we're not believing that's safe. That's filthy. That's filthy. And everybody was into this. I hope as the year they change, many people go ask for forgiveness for causing people and mama them, people and sister them. We're also associated with their own, female relative then and their family. Because that's what it is. You cause one side and that, you are talking about something where your young family also get. So even though the direct attack at your family, but what are you describing? Is it not gender-based? And if it's gender-based, is your somebody not part of that gender? I mean, the most absurd argument is what I heard during that period. But we now know, say, it was a complete failure. It not come as a surprise to people like we, because we saw it and we amplified it. We adumbrated it to we general public where they listen to we. That Mami cause not a policy. We try to sympathize with those way, and I know a lot of people, and some of them don't change now, but they thought that it was necessary. I don't know how Mami cause will be necessary in a society if that society is supposed to be an upright society, a decent society, a civilized society, and then Mami calls some people and come out and defend her and say, oh, no, it's necessary. No, never agreed then, never agreed now, and never will agree going forward. There are many other ways that we can attack these issues, that we can address these issues. It might be slow. That's what the process is about. Slow for act. But eventually, it does happen because it has to take a concerted effort. And the effort has to be a constructive effort, not name calling. Yeah, we can do name calling in a kind of way, not that raw extreme. That's extremism, because that's fundamentalism. That's a disgrace. And for those who support that for a long, long time, that legacy, they live after them. It's going to follow them. I mean, I'm not a boomer, a baby boomer, as per me age, when it comes to a Sierra Leonean context, because the time where we grow up there, the time where we born, you can just imagine, we meet discipline, we meet respectability, we meet understanding, we meet mutuality, we meet respect, and all the good virtues in life. That don't mean say bad thing not been there, but of course it was less, far, far less. And they're all over the place. It was consigned to certain places. Not only where the country begin for fail, under the same Sheikh Stephen, and somebody can say, people and still try for bring the Sheikh Stephen thing up, way not in bad in itself, but the reason why they try for bring account up is only because they're trying to provide a covert excuse for the failure of the current government. So they want to carry you back to 50 years, where Sierra Leoneans, the international community, be not adjudicate on that 30 years ago. 30 years ago, 40 years ago. We even went to war. This is how much the vindication amount to. We went to war. We killed each other in a civil war. Thank God not to be in tribal war, as nasty as the Liberian war was, because the Liberian war was a tribal war. I got to post many things them for jog man the memory about the Liberian war and few things about the Sierra Leonean war, because I come across some Tucker Carlson, the biggest journalist ever now in America, Tucker Carlson. He interviewed few rebel them, especially the one them from Liberia, General Butt Naked. We get for come with an interview there, we get for highlight them. Yes. So then things then we see them as no mamikos and then rudeness, then that's not necessary to a cause for, for effect change. I remember I interview Usman Fode and Sane many years ago, if not 7 years ago, when the mamikos begin for emerge. While I could understand say then stifle APC from within, and APC mean they look for voice because waiting the Mother Bio regime do from day one, and adapt people like we read into. We supported the idea of going after people who will be involved in corruption in the past government openly. The records are there, and I make way people like Iwanka attack me. It's like I refer to them. I've got about 700 videos, work, my lifetime work. So there's a legacy there, recorded in real time. Because most of me program them, now live program them. We have a dedicated YouTube channel, about 700 videos. In YouTube, we get over 1,000 videos, because that's where I'm not in YouTube, rather. On Facebook, over 1,000 videos, because that's where we started from. Before we begin involved, YouTube, also we now get over 700 videos. So we must have had over 300 videos or 300 before YouTube channel dedicated. So before they can accuse me because I do something today, it go fine for let you check me record, but we become so lazy, it's just easy for point finger. But we don't entertain that here. In Sierra Leoneans, we are also complicit in poverty, in the predicament where we find we suffer. Because we need for speak up. I can understand that it's difficult, but being difficult not means that you can't speak up, because there are others who have spoken up. And people have lost their lives. So the effort has to be concerted, because there is no army, no police, no government way bigger than the people we give them the mandate in the first place. But we can't allow where we're not satisfied with the way the government they move, and just allow a few people to go forward and then gun them down, and the rest of us retreat, or we just stay where we are. Then after every year or two, other people then become motivated, or people are mobilized in a smaller fashion, because we all cannot get mobilized at the same time. It's not like we can't, but some people just feel clever and decide to stay back, but they want change, but at the expense of others, and then go forward, then gun them down. These are Sierra Leoneans too. These are people's children too. And we get many homesteaders in Sierra Leone now who are mourning, who are grieving over the last 7 years. Do I have to talk about McKinney? We've done thorough work on that. Again, go on YouTube, on which platform, the video is there. Do we need to talk about Tumbo? Go on YouTube, on the dedicated platform, the video is there. The killings, what led up to those killings? Do we continue with Pandemba Road? Yes, we may in some respect. I mean, every one of the things that I've just cited, but the record is there, the receipt is there. We see recently Lawrence Lahai Lima Komoti begin talk about Insefwan Kabi president. I mean, I understand them differently in the sense that sometimes, and to me, the SLPP is desperate. PAOPA is desperate. PAOPA, they're under huge pressure, both within and without. And the PA himself is surrounded by unscrupulous figures, but ones obviously that he entertained, because the way our money they flow into Freetown now, we know that through filthy means. I'm not going to use the word, you know, exactly, but I'll just call them filthy means. So all the promises of development, oh, we go build this Naya, we go build this 6-story Naya, we go build this new city. It was all banked, or largely banked, on promises from unscrupulous individuals and a kind of enterprise way unscrupulous. But now they are being exposed. They are being exposed. And it's a difficult thing for swallow, because those of us that still carry our country's passports, we know what they go through when we travel. Because now then they double check because maybe they travel with our business, if you know what I mean. That's what it is. So now, we country now harbor for clean money. And when I say clean money again, I still not call it business, because then you go understand, for clean money, it means outside the money come out, you're not correct. That's what's happening. We know the connection or the trail between Guinea-Bissau and we country. We know the former president in involvement and in connection to we, because they've been on there for a long time. How they connected. So that friendship been great, because of course it's a money trail. And if you want to find out about then business there, just follow the money trail. All these filthy deals. So everybody at this time, they inside Freetown, they talk about intelligence agencies. Yeah. MI5 is there. The CIA is there. Not the KGB, the new form of the KGB, I don't forget the name. KNVD, something like that. The Russian intelligence are there. Chinese intelligence are there. Absolutely, the Israeli intelligence are there. They are all there in that small little country. They are there. Now make us say the power clique that's surrounding there is full up with people of various interests. So the president himself, they feel the pressure. There's a lot of pressure on the president or on the presidency, because there are things that he has to live up to. There are commitments that he made, and etc. It's not rosy, you know. So we see First Lady come out and begin for rant back now, just for distract we, because that's ranting. APC not supposed to be there, and this and that, and what have you. You were not elected, madam. We understand that. Secondly, you're a foreigner, period. And I not say this with hate. I appreciate you. But the fact that you know fully well that you're a foreigner, and your own video where you make speaks to that, it just beggars belief that you will get Sierra Leone and back where they try for say otherwise. When the woman herself is, I don't say explicitly, not to 1 video, 2 video, 3 video, and I get the video then I mean archives boku. Now Arise TV, other interviews then we been get when it go down there. So they talk about even naturalization, which we don't really have. in the sense. Because we know say where you go there, if not there you born, then obviously you can live there over a period of time. If you not become of prominence in which people and want to know who you are, then obviously you can lie low and you can pass for one of them. I had a similar fate. I go Liberia when I be young, and I lived there for the formation of my adult life was there. And the only people that we know say me I be foreigner when I go there, because of course my tongue been different, and I still know me and some of them same people and they were in contact to this day. A few of them, of course, many have passed away. Some of them still relevant. Some of them they are abroad. Some of them they not Liberia. We do talk, and they can still laugh at me to this day when I go like we they go play marble. Liberia man like we picking a leg for play marble, and I play marble, and I can say, Liberia man say what we can say na me turn. In other words, you turn for play. Liberia man say dama turn. Of course, I will knew and not be sabi that, so me they speak I mean my own kind of way, and that was fun. And for a long period of time, that's how then friends have been they refer me to. We all grew up, some of them, like I say, and many times when we talk, and then humble beginnings, then we can talk about. But as I grew up there, my tongue became fluent. That the one they will not be know when I go there, they not ever know who I am. But just a Liberian man, like for ask, if Liberian man greet you, they say, my man, hello. The next way they ask you, what is your tribe? That's why in fact, you're like tribal war. They are tribal in some sense, in a good way. Then, apart from the war, we destroy the country and destroy them. Yeah. So I live there, and I proper live there to a point where me own Sierra Leonean people for a long period of time call me foreigner. Some not understand, some not buy them and pay them, just for can't discredit me. Oh, you foreigner. I see during my period of, like I'm blogging, people and they come out, and if you hear the name, some of them get Nordic name from Sweden, from the all these Nordic countries, Norway and etc. And call me foreigner. The people are really coming for, if you see the names, not even get affiliation or association with we region or country. But yes, I've been through all of that and I understand that. But I made 10 times the skin of an alligator. Me armor a art for pias. The underbelly, which will be the vulnerable side, but of course I coupe am. So I also get armor under there. So a art for let you fain, a place for usa you go pias. Almost like a tortoise. I dey inside my shell. Anytime I feel threatened, I go inside my shell. I lock me armor, I'm in there. Until I feel safe, I open up and begin to move slowly. That's how I've survived over a period of time. These are difficult times because, of course, I not getting numbers that I've been get before. I understand why. Again, they're not spam we, they're not broke we links, they not complain about we for no reason. People are just complain about we to whatever. And other things where they go on as well. So I do understand this, but remain relevant. And to this day, we still remain among the top people, and we broke the record in 1, 2, or 3 episodes alone. We get about 4,000 live viewers. How many episodes then they get 2, 3, 4,000 live viewers in them peak? We did. Of course, you go say they talk about about the past, which of course is true, but wouldn't they glorify themselves in the past, although I'm interested in the future. But if you don't understand your past and then your present, how do you go into the future? So the process is a process still in work. We still work on and we not say we go emerge again. We not say we get frenemies. We get people that we wish we could, and not like some of the things that we talk, but we go continue. And we need for be persistent. We need for be consistent. Now, it make I do this show. As soon as I go see, I wasn't the host for the show, but you can imagine them I was supposed to host the show. Really can't find them. So the burden then fall back on me. Cancel show here, and I see the cancel shows. Other people and they go on with their shows. So everybody is filtering, here to them people and where they do their shows. And you are getting left out, and I saw you they lose grounds. I know because it's happened to me a few times. Bounce back and then lost ground Again, because of other personal things, then where they go on the background. But again, Sierra Leoneans, them, I'm saying I want to end on an optimistic note. This, of course, not to the last broadcast, because we got a powerful broadcast where they come for on the 28th. The flyer is out. We not distribute them widely yet, but it's in a 1 or 2 platform, which is 2025 in retrospect, and we get a heavy star-studded cast made up of a lot of professional people from different professional backgrounds. We get lawyers, we get clergymen, them, we get social scientists, we get political scientists, we get lawyers, we get journalists. They will be there, and I can give you a few names. Dr. Fatima Babi, where they host a program at this platform, she will be on the program. Dr. John Idris Lahai will be on this program. He's heavy as well. You can call him controversial, but most people who are heavy, they can be classified as controversial. He's not new on this platform. We interviewed him when the platform been there on the peak. We haven't interviewed him for years. We managed to get for can talk about 2025 in retrospect. But all them people there, we can forget them, probably singularly or not in a group fashion, in an interview segment. We also get a veteran ambassador or diplomat, John Lee, who is based in America, who served, in a proper diplomatic designation over a period of time, and especially during a critical juncture now we country in history. So before the war, during the war, imagine all the negotiations that we've been going on the background. So we know some people, and we sit on our feet on this today, the part where they playing at the war. Some people were pure rebels. I'm not asking that they should go and be arrested. Not to everybody, participate in the war, pay the consequence. Some are living large today, just like they lived yesterday. Others paid the consequence. We've interviewed a few of them, like the former RUF general, we eventually lead the RUF after the demise of Fode Sankoh General Issa. We don't interview on this platform, I think, twice, all the way from Rwanda. These are the efforts that we make over a period of time, simply because we want a kind of reconciliation process, but we want honesty and integrity, uprightness, where we Sierra Leonean comrade them will benefit from. We also don't interview other figures them, such as Maurice Calon, who was also a general, I think Fetna Libya, Fet in a senior capacity as alone, and General 55, who was formerly SLA, and 1 or 2 others. This is how far we've gone. So, Pambola, having said this, there are many programs coming in 2026, and we'll try for be consistent, for keep on consistent, for continue for deliver to owner, because the boat or the train, as then will say, has long left the platform. And if you swim, you're then at the middle of the water, so you get for continue for pedal. Because if you not continue, you go down. This is where we are. We've made friends. We've made real enemies. This is a statement of fact. Okay? Even though not with intention, and we extend an olive branch going into the new year, we're open to advice. How people they want for let we go forward, how they want for let we carve, we program. We are going to listen. We are open to this. In fact, it's not new. But on Thursday, on Sunday, we are having this program with this star-studded panel where I talk about 2025 in retrospect, okay? And then we also, the Hope Forget It program on Boxing Day, 9 or 10 o'clock, on this recent pronouncement by the courts in Sierra Leone, we the former vice president, who has been struggling for return to empathy, in a significant position because, of course, the man harbor aspirations for lead the party and subsequently the country. He's been denied that for a long time, went to court, and then the court now finally say that he gets a right for return to empathy, and for be able the party for grant them right for aspire as a political candidate or as a flag bearer for the party. The significance of this, I just want to reiterate one last time because I may likely do a program on 26 Boxing Day, on the 27th. Now watch out for the flyer. But the whole significance of this is a man known as Alfred Peter Conte. Of course, Alfred Peter Conte became a household name within a short period of time because of waiting happened within a short period of time. The constipation of a political politics. And then the purge will then purge that constipation day. And then the fluidity will follow, just spread. So those will be involved automatically just gain that status in terms of household names. But in this case, not in a generous way or in a sort of famous way. Some of it is infamous because many people were hurt as much as many people were relieved and happy. But the point that I'm trying to make here is Alfred Peter Conte has got a case equally in court. And remember, he was designated as the party leader under the political justice. I call it the political justice because most of the case them where this man can look into a contract on our judiciary with judicial system than a Judge Adrian Fisher, if not all of. But it will be a statement of fact again, the majority of the cases where this man looked into were political cases. And that had to do with the opposition party. But for fast track, this conversation is Alfred Peter Conte had a matter na the court, was seen largely as the leader of the party. An injunction was slapped on him. In other words, for keep him at bay, because then give the population an impression like a process, a democratic process was supposed to take place. And Peter Conte, while they're not dismissing case, but it appeared like it is stalled the process due to in case where he get. So an injunction was placed on him. Whilst after a significant period of time, the same political justice, Guy Samora, where there be no month for a period of time, where we know say we get a case, a significant case, or in name beneath the white paper, with a prominent case of the Sierra Leone Chancery in New York, accused of massive corruption. Been then a caught upside down, inside out, drag, and one have you. And then after a while, same political justice, probably from orders from above, and I'm just intimating this, I've got no proof, for somebody goes, I must me just know. I just a surmise. Now give this flag bearer for APC the yeah, so there were many things at play, by the way, and we need to understand this. That after this justice don't play this AO and MAO, Panem people are inside this one party. Remember saying that this same justice now divide a huge political party. We get huge how you call a constituency in the country, if not the largest, arguably. Yeah. Divide them and make them appear like a majority into three parts. Remember the 21-man committee? I mean, the history books, then historian them, then get so much for write about. And then find writer them, then get for make money. And apart from money, then legacy will long live before then they go and long after they don't go, based on waiting and right and how they write, waiting and right, because it actually happened. Very intriguing. It's like you read a Don Pendleton novel, a James Hadley Chase novel, with a high sort of drama and plot, but eventually get for can down. Yeah, a John Grisham sort of novel. And they try for think the 10 women they read so vastly all these, fast paced, intriguing, suspense, sort of novel. That's what it looks like when these people begin to write. It go make so much. and I admonish them for do that. So anyway, now this man I divide the party into 3 parts and call a 21-man committee, because inside the 21-man committee, they still divide it into 3 parts, in which for me first term, it's not the number that makes up the majority majority. Now the clout, now it make up the majority. So in other words, the parliamentary people under Cherno Ramadan Ba Cheri Koko, now them form the majority, even though they were less than one particular group, because you get 11 here, you get 9 here, and you get 3 here. Set them up perfectly. The parliamentary group, as opposed with the Alfred Conte group, and then the fringe ones, them about 3 or 4 of them, including some ladies. Just imagine that. How suspense a thriller could that be if we're going to make film and we'll make such a film? Imagine how people then go glued to the seat for watch that. Because just talking about them alone, they make the hair and nape, you cannot rise. Because this is reality. But the fact here is that Justice Fisher and I set all of this up. And if we're not been seeing waiting me to go on, that this all was politically motivated by a judge or justice who had political, sort of connections, and appear like to have been instructed as to how for they carry out this thing, for render the other side deficient so you don't pose a real threat to the other side. So anyway, Samora was in trouble, but yet still they make Samora the flag bearer. Where Justice Fisher don't turn about when they were satisfied that he didn't pose anything like a significant threat, and if he did, then he can pull him anytime on the basis of corrupt charges. That he had corruption hanging over his head. The New York Chancery, which was an item at the time. And this is what I don't understand. A man waiting at the white paper who was being accused within the same period of time of massive corruption on a high-profile case. APC still decide for put him forward as the flag bearer. And then the parliamentary majority, in which the leader for the opposition party in the parliament eventually emerged as the second in command, or in other words, the deputy flag bearer, potentially vice presidential aspirant. Goodness me. Famulem, are you following? So now so he play anyway, and then the Alfred Peter Conte. This is for another day. But eventually, Alfred Peter Conte, in case not done, is still in a court. An injunction was slapped. Alfred Peter Conte is a huge supporter of former Vice President Sam Sumana. Sam Sumana has been vindicated by the court. The court say you get a right for go back to that party day, and not only go there as some fontoba, but you get a right for go team up and aspire, cast your aspirations. And waiting at the money aspiration, you want for be the flag bearer of the party. And on one side, okay, because he can do that, but you get boku thing for contend with. But here comes the icing on the cake. Alfred Peter Conte, an ally of his, potentially will become the party leader for take this party, All People's Congress, to convention, provided that the injunction is lifted on him. And if that injunction didn't lift on Panam, which means that he get this authority for take the party to convention, because by default, Naina the party leader. Fambulem, are you following? But I go left on day because we come with a program on this. But before I end, not forget for tuning on the 28th, which is on a Sunday, for this year, 2025, in retrospect, where we go look at who that say waiting, who side they say when they say and etc. From January to December, with a high-flying panel constituted of people from a varying and high-profile background, professional background, lawyers, journalists, social scientists, and politicians. So not forget for tuning. Family, they ask una feel free for send una recommendations to the platform as to the direction we una can suggest that the platform for go or things we wanna expect in the new year. We will really like that. because we dey do a self-evaluation, but we dey count on the followers them for also help in providing that information there as to how una go like for let we go forward in 2026. But we dey come with a grand style in 2026. But we dey left una bien. The journey has been worthwhile so far, even though it's no longer about the journey, but the destination. And we are arriving because it's a continuous process. Pambulem, there is a reason why Sierra Leoneans them should be optimistic despite the doom and gloom. It's not really easy, but if we live on hope, which is an essential element of life for continue for live, the Bible says that, philosophers say that, because it makes absolute sense that sometimes we are done, but the thing where they keep us going at this issue about hope, we have hope on something. So we immune system, they're able for battle other foreign elements them, because the game is about survival. For the race is not to the swift, not the battle for the mighty, but for those who endure it to the very end. Family, I mean, Prince Emil Koma, a cantona today, and I want to end this program on what I just tell you. The battle is really for those who endure it to that very end. Until we catch up again, permit me for say goodbye, wishing everybody Merry, Merry Christmas and a happy and wonderful, wonderful New Year. Bye for now.